Yo, if you want to become a beast at forehand upshots, you've come to the right place. Let's get straight into it. Grip, people, grip. Most people will be putting their fingers, their hands in the general correct position, because obviously you're not going to do this if you're throwing a forehand. But when you have this disc in the crease and these two fingers on the inside of the rim, a lot of people go wrong where they put these two fingers in some random place. These two fingers work best when you put them on the inside of this ring finger. You put the disc on the inside of the outer knuckle. This means that it's going to be the same every time, but also, if you look, these two fingers are pushing against the rim this side, and these two fingers are pushing against the rim this side, creating a pinch point. This means the disc is more stable. So when you don't put it there, the disc is, you can see, I can feel it just coming out of my hand, it's more wobbly. You need to be able to trust your grip so that you can execute your shot properly. It's the same, you should have decent pressure with your thumb, and then it means you're gonna not have to worry about the disc slipping out. That makes such a huge difference, because if I had a bad grip, my actual swing is going to be subconsciously or consciously affected. Whether you're throwing a standstill or you're throwing just a little run up, I firmly believe that there's correct footwork. So you should have this right foot facing parallel to the target, and this left foot, when you shuffle up, should extend and open towards the target. This means your hips are open and you're able to open up towards the target and follow through. It's the same with this left arm. This left arm, if I'm throwing this way, is going to slightly extend, and then it's going to reach back with its elbow. It doesn't need to jerk back, because we're only throwing a comfortable shot. These shots, because we're not throwing max power, we just need to be in the general correct position. This means that we're able to actually throw how we want to, and we can execute this much more consistently. Another point to say is when you're standing, you shouldn't be fully upright, because then this means there's not enough space for you to actually throw properly, and you'll end up compensating by extending your elbow through. Instead of coming properly, you'll come round because there's not enough space, and then you'll early extend and you won't hinge properly with this elbow. It's the same thing when you're reaching back. Try not to reach back with your elbow behind yourself if I'm going this direction, because then when you pull through, you're getting caught up by yourself. You want to be able to reach further back slightly out with your elbow so that you can pull through. Then you see I'm in this nice comfortable position and I'm able to follow through to get that hinge. Works very well. So hinge forward at the hips, slight, and you can see everything's working in accordance to how it should do and should go in. Almost, next time. Last bit about form before we start aiming is you want to keep this disc nice and compact and relatively on the same plane. Now, if you're going up here, you've got to think you don't need all of that power. All you need to do is you'll have this little extension back with this elbow, and the motion is going to be you come through with your driving with this right leg and resisting with this left leg, and driving with this elbow, coming through with this left elbow back round, and you drive through, and then this wrist will naturally cock back, which is why you need that strong grip, because if you have a weak grip, then you get to this position, then the disc comes out. You're not going to be able to trust your shot, and it's going to go really badly. But if you've got a good grip, then you get into this position, and then it will fling round. You'll follow through probably on the same plane that you're throwing, and it should work out pretty well. I'm not throwing that far. I don't need to have all of this like reach back. It's the same with even if I was throwing longer shots, I can still throw just as far with a shorter reach back to here, because I've got almost all of the power I need from my legs, my torso, and this motion right here. So how to aim? Now, I've got the middle cone on the left slightly for me throwing a flat shot with a slight fade at the end. I'm going to put in my head, I saw a video from Gannon Burr about putting, how he puts through hoops. And I've done that before in my head, but I've also putted through green and red zones. So if I imagine above that cone, around 2 meters in the air, is, let's say, a little hoop or a green zone and the rest is surrounded by red, then I need to know what angle I want that disc on at that point. And then I don't need to worry about anything else other than saying, okay, well, if I want to get that disc to there at that point, then I've just got to throw this shot on this angle at that place. And I don't need to worry about any of the rest of the throw. I don't need to worry about finishing the throw, which can often mess up how people throw. I just need to focus on that. I need to look at where I'm aiming, keep my eyes on there, and then I can execute my muscle memory. That's the beauty of the forehand, is you can keep looking at the target and your body is going to want to throw in that direction. So I'm going to look and try and throw through that hoop. I'm going to stay relaxed, allow myself to carry out that muscle memory. A little bit too much hyzer, but it wasn't a problem. Missed it slightly left. We'll try and go for another one. Now I'm going to go to the right cone, so I've got to go on more anhyzer at that point so that it fades back. If you practice everything, then there's nothing that you've seen that hasn't come up. So focus on this angle. For me, I stay back and try and keep it on the same plane so that on these throws at least, I don't actually need to worry about the angle pretty much at all, because I'm already on this angle. I'm naturally going to throw this angle and I don't need to worry about it. As I execute my stroke, I'm driving this elbow in and it's flicking round. I'm not pushing with this and muscling the disc. I'm allowing it with my wrist, I'm cocking it back and I'm allowing it to come into this position where I've driven through with my elbow and this wrist is cocked back, and then I get that snap and then I can get effortless power. And I'm training here with putting putters or throwing putters because this MV has a lot less wobble resistance. This has very low torque resistance compared to most other discs. And so when I'm in a tournament and I've practiced all of my time with less torque resistant discs, then when I go into a tournament, I can disc up to, let's say, my rat or my zone compared to an NV. And then I'll have even more confidence because I'll know that the disc is going to go on exactly what angle I want. Now, a little hyzer, make sure that you're spinning it round with your fingers. It's in this snap position, and then you spin around and give the disc the best chance to go exactly where you want it to go. So now I throw much less wobbly because I'm throwing relaxed, driving through and letting my arm snap round instead of trying to muscle it. I've learnt with these putters to stay in this nice, comfortable position where I'm allowing the best opportunity. I'm not getting to the end of my range of motion and I'm able to disc up to something in a tournament that's going to be more consistent. For me, I've got this rat and I've got to throw it down there. So I'm going to pick a point, maybe 60% of the way into the flight, where I want my rat to be in at that point in time, that exact point. Then all I need to do is just work out what angle to throw from there and execute all of the steps. Voila. And this makes it easy for when you're throwing, let's say, overstable discs. I've got a quake here and I want to draw it away from this right hand tree. Well, I can maybe pick 2 points in the sky. I can pick one just before this tree on the left hand side where I want the disc to hit there, and then a second point for it to hit. And I've got to work out what angle I need to throw to get into the first hoop, to get into the second hoop at the right angle, that it will start fading towards the basket. And then all I need to do is worry about throwing on this angle in this direction, and I've got the rest of it figured out. This is the same for backhand upshots as well. I've got my point, slightly overstable disc, and I'm going to hit it. Bit deep. So that covers it. I hope after this video that improved your forehand upshot somewhat. If you want to say anything in the comments, let me know. But I really hope you appreciate this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.